coming up right now. We see the Alpes in the Koning Express taking the bike path there at the right-hand side of the road with Jonas Rickaert, Mathieu van der Poel and Jasper Philipsen. We see Biniam Girmay move up to the front as well. He's the last in that train of Intermarché Wanty. Go over the water of the Brugse Vaart, the Damse Vaart. Look at that pace, amazing. Yeah, today is not going to be one of those Driestebond days, that's for sure, especially since we have a little bit of a headwind in the final 5 kilometers, making it, yeah, there it is, surrender. Saw that moment that in the body language, yep, and now we have it with images of his face as well. He'd hoped it would work out, but it didn't, and now we go full gas towards the final. I hope they don't give him 500 francs for that. They can give Max Kanter 500 for that, because that is use of the bike. Oh, that was Syriza. That is use of the. That is use of the bike path that gives you an advantage.
There's another
and
one.
This is absolutely not okay either. This is a clearly defined bike path there on the side of the road. And it's not only a danger to possible spectators, but remember the Tour of Flanders last year when somebody hopped off one of these bike paths and kind of bowled over half of the peloton.
Yep, it's dangerous. You have to have your wits about you when you're racing in Belgium, because these bike paths turn into pavements, and there's all sorts kind of happening, and then you get gaps at the sides, gaps in the middle. So yeah, the riders will do anything, take risks to do their job, to come towards the front. So yeah, getting a little bit frantic at the moment at the front now. A lot of teams wanted to get, and like we said right from the start, this right-hand corner with about 400 metres to go is going to be a crucial one today.
Well, this is the elevation that we have on offer for you. We go over the E17 quite a few times, which is the highway from Ghent to the coast, to Oostende. And now we have silence before the storm. Many teams at the front. Arnaud Demar is really going for it again. We have Dan McClay there as well.
You just see in the left-hand side, sorry, Josie, that Intermarché are there, and everybody's clearly... It's been frantic racing today, just easing up a little bit and keeping your place. And sometimes you'll see the riders kind of fan out a little bit to try and take up more road space at the front. But as soon as we say this, then we get another acceleration here from Quinn Simmons.
Ooh, that motorbike has to move up a little bit faster than that one. Tricky corner here, but everything's still together. Of course, Visma Lease Bike, they don't have Olaf Kooi anymore, but they're still here with Christophe Laporte. I don't really know what his result was yesterday. He was only 19th in that sprint. But Mathieu van der Poel, Jonas Rickaert and Jasper Philipsen are already there on the right-hand side of the peloton, so left for those of you watching. We get I think Timo Kielich back at the front as well for Alpes in the Koning. Well, Kra Andersen, of course. Yeah, this is not the touristy stuff that we want at 5k from the line, but it's lovely. You can have your entire team camp here. This former, more looks like a monastery there on the left hand instead of a castle. But it's lovely. But let's get back to the racing, please. I wonder what that building on the left hand side is for. Is that for all your personnel? There's a lot of personnel then. 5k to go with David Dekker at the tail end of the peloton. He hasn't heard yet whether he can stay with Arkea B&B Hotels. The partnership the last 2 years hasn't been that successful. There is more potential in David Dekker, I feel, than what came out. But this is block headwind, although we're racing kind of sheltered here in the woods. But it's all about that final corner, Brian. We didn't see it the first time when we crossed the line, so we're going to see it now. It's about...
I think we have to, don't we? And yeah, I think if you've got one rider in front of you there, a good position. The key to beating Milan is not allowing him to follow Mathieu van der Poel's wheel like he has done. That's worked for him in the first couple of stages. Not allowing him to kind of open up first. Kind of forcing the Lidl Trek team to come more from behind. So, really kind of trying to kind of take this one on from the front. So I think for Jasper Philipsen, if I was him, I'd be wanting to lead into that final right-hand corner and actually kind of open up his sprint for himself. So if Mathieu van der Poel can get round that corner in first position, come out of it with Philipsen on the wheel, irrelevant of where the other riders are behind, just open up and, that would be the perfect scenario, I think, for Philipsen. But saying that for Alpecin de Koning, other teams thinking pretty much the same thing. So it'll be about a race to get into that right-hand corner. And then, of course, making sure that you have got your sprinter on the wheel.
Yeah, and that your sprinter stays on your wheel after all the effort that you did. And of course, these are split-second decisions. We have Miles Scottson here for Arkea B&B. Looks like Per Strand Hagenes is having a good time here. At the front, the man in yellow, joking around there with Quinn Simmons.
There's no way round now. They're completely locked down the front of the peloton.
Yellow card for all the riders blocking the road right now.
Yeah, well, all the teams have got... the teams that are at the front, Lido, Trek...
all of them.
Visma Leasebike, Arkea,
Be consistent.
Intermarché and Alpecin de Koning. They're happy. They've got their rider there. So that's why they've slowed it down a little bit now. But there's so many other teams that if you didn't get your sprinter into position, then how are you going to get him up? Without risking things of going in bike paths and pavements and things like that with 3 kilometres to go. There's too much of a risk to try and move up now. So this is why it's been locked down. Inside 3 kilometres to go. Who's going to be the first to accelerate here? Because everybody knows that they have to get good position into this right-hand corner.
Well, not this man. This is Lars Krops, I think. Oh, Gilles Hesters. Oh, that's sad for Gilles, because he was in the top 10 yesterday.
He was good. I actually marked him down, so that's a big disappointment, because when you're going off the back of a good result yesterday, a lot's expected of today.
The Lidl Trek train with Quinn Simmons, with Edward Teuns, Jasper Stuyven, Jonathan Milan, and on the wheel of Milan we have Consonni. And then it's Astana on the other side of this little traffic island. That's not going to gain them any time or any room, but there's a little bit of disorganization right now as speed is back up right inside the final 2 kilometers with Søren Kragh Andersen there at the front for Alpecin de Koning. We have Adrien Petit doing that for Intermarché. Quinn Simmons still out there. We have Sam Welsford peaking. Where are we going, guys? Yes, we're going straight to the finish line right now, inside the final 2 kilometres.
Lidl Trek have been pushed out in the right-hand side now. So Quinn Simmons didn't react as quick as when Alpecin de Koning started to kind of open up. So this is good from Alpecin de Koning for the moment anyway. They've got the rider Philipsen on the wheel of Van der Poel. Now Astana coming up on the left-hand side, pushing Milan back a little bit. So this is the challenge that you're going to have. Everybody wants good position into this right-hand corner. A lot of pushing and shoving at the moment. Even when I said Alpecin de Koning were good, they've been pushed back a little bit. So I'm expecting them to really kind of lift this up now. And Mathieu van der Poel, just keep an eye on him. I think Philipsen is a little bit too far back now.
Yeah, Jonas Rickaert is trying to forge away to the front. We're inside the final kilometre, and now Max Walscheid tries to move on to that wheel of Mathieu van der Poel. Van der Poel and Milan side by side. Oh, that's crashes in the middle of the bunch. It was just, But at the front, it's still the top sprinters there. It's a fairly small group, but we still have Consonni, Jasper Stuyven there for Jonathan Milan. We still have Mathieu van der Poel with Jasper Philips. Laporte is still there. I think it's Mika Heming as well for Tudor.
He's going now. He wants to be first into this corner, and he's not going to make it.
Nope, it's still that entire train for Lidl Trek, and it's a really wide corner. Max Walscheid misses the turn entirely, and now it's that final lead out for Milan. Milan is in 5th position at the moment on the wheel of Christophe Laporte, and now the final lead out by Mathieu van der Poel and Jasper Philips. So Milan is way back. We have Bram Welter, they're still there, and now Jasper Philips with Christophe Laporte. Jasper Philips, is he going to beat Milan? Yeah, for sure, and he now finally has got his stage. What happened to Milan there? Did he hit the brakes or something? But he was way too far back.
Yeah, he was forced to. The only way, I said that corner was going to be crucial, where you're positioned into it. He was a little bit too far back. His team were on the front. They did a perfect job. But it was all the kind of pushing and shoving to get up there. There's a lot of shouldering. The Arkea rider, he just hit the deck and took, the rest, even Demar with him. Get caught behind, so that was a kind of nasty accident there. No one likes to see that, but it was all about that right hand corner there, and I think Mathieu van der Poel's lead out was pretty much almost perfect there with Philipsen on the wheel for the first time in this race, and guess what? Philipsen wins. It was all about trying to kind of push Lidl Trek, not having the best possible lead out. They didn't. I think hopefully we'll see it again. It did look as if Jonathan Milan just had to touch the brakes a little bit. He was in 5th place when the sprint happened, but he had a lot of ground to make up. But from what I saw from the front there of Jonathan Milan, I know he bobs a bit, but I don't think he had the good legs today.
No, there was no bobbing. It's Cosnefroid. Yeah. Also, Mick van Dijken was on the deck there. From a Dutch perspective, Brian, the entire European Championships team, half of them have been on the deck and abandoned this race already.
Yeah,
2 weeks from now.
Really important. I could see it happening on the right hand side. I thought their Arkea rider was going to hold it up, but he kind of lost his balance a second. He tried to hold it up. He was just about touching the wheel, and then when he came off the wheel, it was just a case of just slamming to the left hand side.
But was it that ridge in the middle that we worried about when they came to this? Because
no, it was a touch.
It's one of these concrete slabs in the middle.
It was a touch of the wheel on the right hand side. He was overlapped and he touched the wheel. When he came off that wheel, he was kind of holding it up, and then when he came off the wheel, he just forced himself to the left hand side, and down he came. But there's a lot of shoulder barging, a lot of it happening, and as you expect in these kind of finishes, that very important to get good position in that right hand turn, and then it kind of naturally opens up. But Alpecin de Koning, they tried hard for this win today. Irrelevant of what he said to the newspapers, he really wanted this win and he got it.
Yeah, Benoit Cosnefroid touching that collarbone there. He is going to Canada, a race that he won, of course, 2 years ago. He's always good at this time of the season, Benoit Cosnefroid. But pointing to that collarbone is, of course, never a good sign. I'm waiting for the repeat because, as always, it was rather hectic. We see Alex Segaard there. He's probably going to be okay. Was McClay the man who was going down first there? We have David Dekker here, Arnaud Demar. It was a really nasty crash. And it looks like Benoit Cosnefroid might be the biggest victim of it all.